Welcome back to NFL Nexus. It is Saturday, January 17th, 2026. If you're tuning in today, you're not just a casual fan. You're what we like to call the learner.
Mm-hmm.
You watch the game, but your brain is always churning about the machinery behind it all, the
Yeah.
salary cap, the coaching trees, the politics in the owner's box.
Exactly.
I'm your host, here to bring the energy, and it's the questions you're probably yelling at your radio.
And I'm here to try and connect the dots. It is good to be back. We've got a stack of material today on the Indianapolis Colts, that is. Well, it's heavy. It feels like we're looking at two totally different teams in one.
It really does. I was looking at the outline, and it's such a contradiction. On one hand, you have this incredible progressive story about a coach named Isabelle Diaz. It's all about the future.
Right. All about opportunity.
Right.
And then you flip the coin, and on the other side, you have a franchise that is just, absolutely reeling from a catastrophic collapse last season.
Total collapse.
And they're facing a logistical shakeup, and the leadership is staring down a do-or-die year.
It's the NFL experience, right? Hope and desperation in the exact same building.
Yep.
So here's the roadmap for this deep dive. We'll start with the rise of Isabelle Diaz, what her new role really means. Then we'll pivot to the end of an era for their training camp.
And finally, we have to perform the autopsy. We are going to unpack the absolute chaos of that 2025 season finish, including a quarterback cameo I still can't believe happened, and the ultimatum that ownership just laid down.
It's a lot. And before we get into the nitty-gritty, just a quick request. If you're enjoying these deep dives, please make sure you subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment below. We want to know, can the Colts recover?
Your engagement really does help us keep these deep dives coming.
And speaking of help,
Uh-huh.
look, we know the NFL season is stressful. Whether you're agonizing over a 7-game losing streak or you just need a break from social media, you have to check out our channel's coloring books.
I actually took a look at these. They're not just for kids. The designs are really intricate. It's a genuinely good way to decompress.
Exactly. Perfect for children, grandchildren, and honestly, adults who just need to find their zen. You can get it through the link in the description or just scan the QR code right there on your screen.
All right, let's get to it.
Let's do it. Segment 1, Isabelle Diaz. So this news just dropped, and it feels significant, even if it's kind of flying under the radar.
It is significant. She's a current assistant for the Colts, and she just got a major nod for the East-West Shrine Bowl.
Okay, so for anyone who just tunes in on Sundays, explain the Shrine Bowl a bit.
Well, it's one of the big college all-star games. It's where scouts go to look at the next crop of talent, but, and this is the key, it's also a massive showcase for coaches.
It's basically a job fair for the people with the headsets.
Exactly. It's an audition.
Yeah.
And Isabelle Diaz has been named the special teams coordinator for the East team.
Okay, so unpack that for me. Why is that title, special teams coordinator, such a big deal?
Well, think about the hierarchy. If you're a receivers coach, you manage, 5 or 6 guys? The special teams coordinator, though, you're standing in front of the entire team. You're managing linebackers, running backs, DBs. You have to understand the whole roster.
So it's the closest you can get to being a head coach without actually being the head coach.
Precisely. That's why you see guys like John Harbaugh, who had deep special teams roots, become such great leaders. They know how to manage the whole army. So for Diaz to get this role, her first coordinator title ever, it's a massive step.
And our source material points out she's the only woman named as a coordinator or coach for this entire event.
That is a singular spotlight. All eyes will be on her.
Yeah, we have a quote here from Troy Vincent, the NFL VP of Football Ops. He said the Shrine Bowl is for, quote, upwardly mobile coaches to show they can be the next generation of head coaches.
I love that phrase, upwardly mobile. In the corporate NFL world, that's a flashing green light. He's telling all 31 other teams, pay attention to this person. She isn't there for show. She's there calling the shots. And that game is on national TV. The whole league is watching.
So how did she get here? Because this wasn't an overnight thing, right? She'd been with the Colts for a few years.
No, not at all. And this ties into a really cool program the Colts have called the Harriet P. Irsay Fellowship. It's specifically designed to get women into coaching and operations. Diaz has been a fellow for 3 straight seasons.
3 seasons. That's what stands out to me. Usually a fellowship is, one and done.
Right. If you bring someone back for a second year, you like them. If you bring them back for a 3rd year in the NFL, a league that is just ruthless about efficiency, it means they're essential. She's doing the work.
And her day-to-day isn't just making copies.
Not even close.
Yeah.
She's assisting Brian Mason, the main special teams coordinator, and Joe Hastings. She's in the grind, practice planning, game planning, breaking down film.
And the story of how she even got in the door in the first place is great.
It is. It wasn't just a resume. It was back in 2023 at the NFL Women's Forum. She met the Colts owner, Carly Arce-Gordon, face to face. That connection is what opened the door.
And speaking of mindset, this detail from her time at Oklahoma State as an undergraduate assistant, she had this philosophy: closed mouths don't get fed.
I love that. It's simple, but it's powerful.
It's so good. She talks about literally sitting at the defensive staff table, surrounded by these guys who've been coaching for decades, and just not being afraid to ask questions. She said, "You're the only advocate for yourself."
That's the aha moment. It's all about confidence. She isn't there as a novelty or a headline. She's there because she is qualified and trusted, period.
And just to zoom out, the numbers are still pretty stark. She is one of only 11 women with a full-time coaching job in the entire NFL.
Right. Out of about 358 women working in football, ops, and coaching total. Being one of those 11 with a whistle, that is elite company.
It's an incredible story. Okay, but now we have to pivot. From the people on the sidelines to, well, the actual ground they stand on, the Colts are moving their training camp.
They are, and this is a big logistical shift. For the last 7 summers, they've held camp at Grand Park in Westfield. It's this massive, fan-friendly sports complex.
But now they're moving back to their home facility in Indianapolis, but not right away. There's a timeline, right?
Correct. The change officially starts in 2027. So for all fans out there, this upcoming summer, the 2026 camp, that's the last dance at Grand Park.
The last dance. I like it. So why are they moving? Grand Park seemed like a great spot.
It all comes down to operations. The team cited growing logistical and technological demands. And you have to think about how much camp has changed, even in the last 5 years.
It's not just tackling dummies and water coolers anymore.
Not even close. We're talking high-tech recovery labs, cryo chambers, massive servers for instant video feedback, biometric monitors on every player. Hauling all that stuff to a different location for 3 weeks is a nightmare.
That makes sense. Why drive 30 minutes away to set up a tent when you have a state-of-the-art lab at home?
Exactly. And they aren't alone here. They're joining 26 other NFL teams that already hold camp at their home base. It just makes more sense.
It is kind of the end of an era, though. They were at Anderson University for decades. Then Rose-Hulman, then Grand Park, now back home. It feels like the corporate efficiency of the NFL is finally killing off that camp road trip vibe.
It is. But this is where the story gets really interesting and, frankly, a little dark.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Because the mood at this final Grand Park training camp in 2026 is going to be heavy, maybe even suffocating.
Because of what happened in 2025?
Because you cannot separate this camp from the absolute disaster that was the end of last season.
All right, let's get into segment 3. The collapse.
Yeah.
Because collapse might be putting it lightly. We have to set the stage, because the weirdest part is the 2025 season started incredibly well.
Incredibly well is an understatement. Through 10 games, the Colts were 8-2.
8-2.
They were widely considered the best team in the NFL. They were flying. Jonathan Taylor was looking like an MVP. And this is the part that still feels surreal. Daniel Jones was a legit comeback player of the year candidate.
It's like a fever dream now. Daniel Jones in a Colts uniform, leading the league.
He was playing great. The system worked. The vibes were perfect. And then Week 14 happened.
The turning point.
Week 14, Daniel Jones drops back, plants his foot, tears his Achilles. Season over.
Now, usually when a QB goes down, the team rallies. Maybe you go .500 the rest of the way.
Not this team. That injury didn't just end his season, it broke the team's spirit. They went into an absolute free fall.
Describe the free fall.
They lost every single game for the rest of the season, all 7. From 8-2 and the top seed to out of the playoffs completely.
And we have to talk about the quarterback carousel. Because this is where the story goes from sad to just bizarre.
It really does.
So Jones is out. Who do they call?
They call Philip Rivers.
Philip Rivers.
The dad with the bolo tie. A legend for sure, but he had been retired for 5 years.
5 years.
He's been coaching high school ball, raising his kids, and suddenly the phone rings. Hey, Phil, can you come save our season?
I can't. The idea that you can walk off the street after 5 years and read an NFL defense.
And to his credit, he tried. He fought, he clawed, he brought the fire. But the rust, it's real. He lost all 3 of his starts.
Just a tragic ending for a season. And then for the finale.
They finally turned to the young guy, Riley Leonard, against the Texans. At this point, their playoff hopes were, as one source put it, Pureed in a blender.
Pureed in a blender. That is a vivid image.
And it's accurate, but here's the kicker. Leonard actually played well. He scored 30 points. The offense finally looked alive. But the defense decided not to show up. They gave up 38, another loss.
So you go 8-2, best team in the league, an Achilles tear.
Yeah.
A 44-year-old Phillip Rivers comes off the couch, and you end with a 7-game losing streak.
Which brings us to right now, January 2026. The dust has settled, and the owner is not happy.
And this is where the stakes get so high for this year. We have a quote from CEO Carly Gordon, the same owner who championed Isabelle Diaz, by the way.
Right.
And she did not mince words.
No, she did not. Speaking about GM Chris Ballard and head coach Shane Steichen, she said, the sense of urgency for them to deliver and perform has never been higher.
Oof. Never been higher.
Let me translate that from CEO speak to plain English. That means fix this or pack your bags.
Yeah.
It's an ultimatum. There is no gray area. If they miss the playoffs in 2026 or fail to win the AFC South, big changes are coming. You don't survive a collapse like that and get a pass.
So let's tie this all together. We're heading into this last dance training camp. It's not just a farewell to a place. It feels like a fight for the soul of the franchise.
It absolutely is. Think about that atmosphere in July. You've got the excitement for the future with people like Isabelle Diaz rising up. But looming over every single practice snap is the knowledge that the GM and the head coach are fighting for their jobs.
Your pressure cooker.
Every dropped pass in July is going to feel 10 times heavier because the margin for error is 0. They cannot afford another collapse.
It's such a fascinating contrast. You have this forward-thinking, nurturing side with the fellowship and supporting Diaz. And then you have the ruthless bottom-line reality of the NFL slamming down on leadership.
And the common thread is Carly Gordon.
That's a great point. She's pulling the levers on both sides.
She really is. She's championing diversity and giving people a shot, which takes vision. But she's also the one issuing the cold, hard ultimatum. It raises a really provocative question about leadership, you know?
What's that?
Does that specific mix extreme support on one hand and extreme pressure on the other? Does that actually create a winning culture? Can you nurture talent while holding a guillotine over the head of your leaders?
That is the question of the year for the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be fascinating to watch.
I wouldn't miss it. It's going to be high drama, high stakes.
Well, that's all the time we have for today on this deep dive. We've covered Isabelle Diaz breaking barriers, the camp moving, and the high-stakes drama facing the front office.
It's going to be a wild year in Indy.
For sure. And before you go, a final reminder to subscribe to NFL Nexus. We're going to be tracking this story all off-season. You don't want to miss it.
And don't forget those coloring books. Link in the description. Trust me, if you're a Colts fan, you might need the stress relief this year.
Ain't that the truth? Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Take care.